Hey guys, so this is a video I've been working on for some time now. This is kind of my review, my opinions, my overall take on certain storm chasing games. There are a bunch of storm chasing games out there. There's a lot I haven't even touched yet. I mean, there's bunches of them. I will go over some of them towards the end of the video. I'm just gonna go over the ones that I have played and just kind of give you my overall thoughts and opinions on it, and we'll just go from there. And I'm gonna start the video off with a kind of a newer one that just came out. It's called Chase. It's a demo. Assuming demo means that they're probably working on more. I don't know. When it comes to Roblox games, that's kind of confusing because a lot of them are in beta and demo, and they're constantly working on it, which is fine. It's great. But we need more clarity, in my opinion. But we're gonna start out with Chase. Chase is a kind of just a photographic-based game, and I'll get to that. I did a little test on all the games that I played, drive from one end to the other to see how long it would take. Chase was only about a 4-minute drive from one end to the other, so that means it's kind of a small map. So the cons and the pros and cons with Chase. The pros, it had really great graphics, easy to play. It's photo based, which is it's cool. You take photos of the storm and storm damage and all that, and adds up and all that. And the one thing that you'll see going forward in a lot of the other Chase games, the nighttime in Chase is actually pretty good. It's not super pitch black dark, which is great. The cons, though, I know I said this was a pro, but it's also a con, is the photo base. When people want to do storm chasing, taking photos of them and documenting them like that is great, but a lot of people, like myself, they want to be the storm chaser aspect of it, of the scientific side, where you're deploying probes, intercepting, collecting scientific data. It was, okay. You know what? I'm being kind of nitpicky on that, but it was very easy to tame the top vehicle. Like, it was too easy. I got that done within a day. I know it's not, again, it's very nitpicky. Like, Chase is it's a great starter game, I will say. But there are a lot of bugs, and the one thing that bothers me the most, especially with me being a live stream content creator, where's cruise control? I need cruise control. I like to be able to just talk with my my viewers, and sometimes I just want to hit cruise control and just let the car go while I talk, read chat for a little bit, because texting and driving is bad. So overall, Chase is good. Like, if I had to give it a 5-star rating, I would give it like a 3 stars, just to be nice. Some work needs to be done. There's some other games on here that I feel like are better. Again, this is a demo, so I can't be too brutal. But yeah, so this is Chase. Up next, it's gonna be Outbreak. Outbreak is a game that is relatively newer-ish. There's not a lot I could say horribly bad with the game, because the game, like, the developers, the biggest pro with Outbreak is that the developers are on this game monthly, updating it. They are constantly updating this game, and it's great to see. You don't see that in a lot of video games, and these guys are doing it. When it comes to Outbreak, though, Outbreak is only available on Steam, only available on PC. So this one's exclusively PC only, which is kind of a bummer to a lot of people that want to get into storm chasing games, because that means it's very exclusive. But someone could come down later on, down on the road. Who knows? I hope to see him potentially go to console, because I know a lot of people who play storm chasing games only have console. They don't have a high-end PC. But honestly, it's a great game. I enjoyed it. I played it recently with Edgar the Storm Chaser. Um, it was a really fun time. And, you've probably seen clips in the background right now of it. Pros on it. Pros, the graphics are great, especially if you have a really good graphics card. Even at 30 frames a second, when I played it the first time about a year ago, graphics are great. The radar, I love the radar. This game, out of all the games I'm talking about today, Outbreak is by far one of the best storm chasing simulation games out there, and it has a good mixture of trying to collect scientific data, but also being a photographer, and all those add up to points at the end of the day, which is fantastic. I love that. You can die in this game, which is crazy to think. Which if you get picked up in a tornado or you crash really hard, you can die and then you lose all the money, which is crazy. The nighttime is not bad in this either. Normally the chase ends towards nighttime. The public servers are sometimes the greatest and funniest things, but sometimes it can be very toxic. That's pretty much of any online game, unfortunately. But you also do have a single player, which you can play on your own, which is nice. The only cons I have to say is, where are the damn wedges? We are the wedge tornadoes. I know you guys are working on it, and I like to see that happen soon, but give us wedges. We want big tornadoes to chase an Outbreak. Another thing too is, and this is me being very nitpicky, the driving. There's times where I feel like I'm Tokyo drifting everywhere. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the vehicles I have. I don't have the Dom or any of the professional vehicles yet. I just felt like I was Tokyo drifting a lot of the times. I don't remember if there was cruise control or not, honestly. But overall, Outbreak, I with the nitpicking of the cons, I would have to give Outbreak at least, no, not at least, they're getting 5 stars. 5 stars for Outbreak. Probably one of the best storm chasing simulator games, as I stated. Definitely go out of your way. Again, the game is beyond, gorgeous. It's very cinematic. It's like your hardcore sim, but for storm chasing. Definitely go out of your way to try it out. Again, they're updating the game monthly. And also, too, one last part of the Outbreak thing is that I didn't do a full test of driving from one end to the other, but I will say it's roughly about 30-40 minutes, depending on what car you have. So this is probably the biggest storm chasing map game that's on the market as far as I know. So you get a lot of time on there. Again, just play it, okay? Just play it. Next up is Helicity. So I wrote these notes down before the update came out. All right. So I was being kind of biased, I guess, or kind of in a way with the Helicity gameplay I had when I recorded some of these clips. But since then, they released an update, and there's some things I will be taking out of my list of things. So one thing I will say, that the map size is pretty decent. Took me from one corner to the other about 12 minutes ish, which is, it's not small like Chase, but it's not mega huge like Outbreak. It's a good distance, especially if you have one of the faster vehicles. You could floor to the other edge of the map really quickly, which is great because that means you get more tornado intercept. That being said, Helicity is more of your probe intercept, your vehicle intercept game only. No photos, there's nothing like that. Very easy to obtain money, very easy to get money in the game. Has really good graphics. I said good graphics before the update. Since they updated now, the graphics for like the tornadoes and the subvorts, they're freaking nutty. They're so cool, really, really cool. The thermos, like, very simplistic. I like that. I wish there was a little bit more. That's gonna be in a con. We'll get that here in a second. You know, the vehicles are easy to control. The damage being done to the housing and buildings and all that is fantastic. Helicity is actually starting to become one of my new favorites, but not my top favorite. But really good game overall. Now when I first experienced it, and I still kind of experience it here and there with public servers, it's very, 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 very glitchy. And I get it, a lot of kids are on this. A lot of people are playing on their tablets or on their phones on really crappy McDonald's Wi-Fi. So there's gonna be a lot of negative issues with that, and I hope something that maybe going forward there is more of a PC only kind of thing option, if that's possible. I don't know how Roblox works at all. I'm just kind of BSing right now. A lot of bugs, and this is before the update. After the update, there are still some bugs. I noticed, like with the radar, it'll show the TVS and then rotation, then TVS again. It's like, okay, kind of weird. One of the biggest cons though, the nighttime it's get it. They're trying to aim for the realism, but golly, there is a thing called moonlight. Moonlight does help with some light aspect. It doesn't have to be that dark. Overall, Helicity is a good game. Helicity to me is gonna get a 4 out of 5. Not major like issues, but they're like slight issues, you know. And one other thing I will add in there too. The whole money aspect thing, how easy it is to attain. Like people who complain about how they can't get anything in this game is very historical in my opinion. Very historical. You know, one thing I kind of like forgot to talk about. This kind of leads into the next game we're talking about too. This is kind of a segue, I guess you'd say. I always get spammed whenever I'm live streaming. When I'm playing Helicity or the next game on the list, I always get constantly spammed. Helicity better. Twisted better. Guys, hear me out, all right? Each game has their pros and cons. This is a Pepsi Coke situation. You're either a Pepsi fan or you're a Coca-Cola fan. There's no in between, okay? That's it. And if you don't like someone playing that game, you don't have to watch them. All right? End of story. End of story. With that being said, let's get into Twisted. This game in particular, I have probably the most time in. Probably too much time in. I've been playing Twisted since 1.17. So I've been playing this one for a minute. I only started streaming it recently, right before I started streaming it during the 1.19 era. So, I started, doing it on stream and all that, and showing you guys my progress and all that. Overall, Twisted has a really large map. It's bigger than Helicity's, but not as big as Outbreak. Like I said, Outbreaks is the biggest. End of story. There's no competing with Outbreak. But for a Roblox game, that's pretty dang big. That's pretty dang big. It's impressive how big it is. When it comes to the pros, a lot of vehicle options. I mean, a ton of vehicle options. It's kind of crazy on how many options there are. On top of the vehicle options, they have jobs. There's other jobs to do besides Storm Chase. which you could be a truck driver. I know back in some of the other updates, you could work at their little sub shop and other stores and all that, which was really cool. Other ways to make money in this game. That being said, it's hard to make money in this game. Yes, both with Helicity and Twisted, you could just drive around and make money. All right, not a lot, but it's still money. But Helicity, you make more than Twisted. All right, so that's the only like big comparison I will do between those two, is that Helicity, you make a lot more money driving around than you do in Twisted. The biggest con though, like besides the job thing, the biggest con I have with Twisted is that nighttime is too damn dark. It is literally too damn dark. It's hard for me to stream it sometimes because of how dark it is. Literally, it's so damn dark. And also, the biggest gripe I have with Twisted is that you can have a high day, right? You have a high day, King TVS is everywhere, and they're freaking sidewinders, man. I can never get a high day that does not have a sidewinder, and it's just so dang frustrating. I want to say out of 10, 9 of them are sidewinders. It's so obnoxious. And other, like, I would say the other, I guess, pro. Yeah, we'll put this in the pro category. Because it could be in a con in a way too. It's the thermos that they have. I like it personally because it shows you all the data of what potentially get people into understanding it, but it's also a con because you got a lot of kids who are constantly bombarding with questions of what does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Over and over and over again. And it's kind of a lot. I'm not trying to be a teacher. I'm just trying to play the game. That's it. I don't mind answering a few questions here and there, but I'm not trying to answer 20 of them at a time. Overall, though, Twisted's a fun game. I have, like I said, a lot of hours into this game. At this moment of recording, I am at 450 intercepts. I'm almost at $2.2 million in game. I have all the vehicles unlocked besides like the holiday edition ones. Which if they release those during the holidays again, I'm going to get those, obvious. And also too, another thing I like about what Twisted did, I don't know if Helicity did this, but Twisted did a legacy version which has all their older versions available to play as well, which is fantastic. So, and the one thing I will say with both Helicity and Twisted is that it's kind of you need to run this on a higher end device. Where with Twisted Legacy, you can run those on a tablet, an iPad, or a phone without any issue. That being said, with the whole Twisted team as a whole, I'll have to give it a 5 stars. Yeah, Twisted's getting 5. So unfortunately, I don't have any gameplay of this game. I kind of have to use the store page, but there's Storm Chasers. This is kind of one of the first ones I believe that I played. Yeah, this was the first one. Not mine. I'm not editing that. Anyways, this game, it's great. It's got a lot of positive reviews for a good reason. You could run this game on very low settings. It runs great on like lower end computers and all that. But it's your basic like storm chasing game. Kind of like Outbreak, kind of like Chased. Photography is a factor. There's a lot of vehicles you can get in this game. Overall, it's a real fun game. You do have a laptop that you have right there. Kind of helps you out with navigation and all that, which is nice. Mini maps are a great thing. Yeah, I will say that this is probably a good starting game as well next to Chase to get into storm chasing games. It's not my favorite though, because I feel like the map is kind of lackluster. But overall, I mean, it's not a bad game. It's not. If I have to give it an honest rating, it'd probably be a 3-star. I know they haven't done very much updates on this game in a very long time, which is kind of a bummer, but the game is great and it could be better. You know, one thing I forgot to add to, so you can take damage in a lot of these games and all that. Yeah, I mean, overall, there are a lot more storm chasing games out there that I have barely touched. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. No, I'm for like the whole chasing aspect, the scientific aspect. I'm not much into the photography side of things. I get it. But at the same time, that's not me. I just want science. I know there's a lot of other storm chasing like games on I'm not Twisted, but on Roblox. A lot of those games are very child friendly and it's just kind of weird. So yeah, this is my take on this storm chasing games that I have played. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, I do, stream on all platforms. You can find all my links for those down below. If you haven't done so already, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe, bell, and hit the bell notification for more videos and lives like this. I have my own Discord. I have a weather channel in there. I have Pokemon. I have music. I have a bunch of things in there. And then I do have a clothing line. I do have a Storm Chaser related one coming out soon. So keep your eyes out on that. And then, yeah. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. You have a good rest of your day. If he just...
Welcome to Quebec City, you son of a bitch!
Holy